Yep.
Hey everyone, Chad Andrews here with Total Cyclist. We're at the pleasure to be at the 24 Hours of Booty, and I've got a special guest here. And the final race of the USA Crit Series is the Cap Crit on probably the Champs-Élysées of the United States of America, on Pennsylvania Avenue in the capital. And Hilton is going to be kind enough to kind of race for United Healthcare, probably one of the preeminent sprinters in the world. And he's here to race the Presbyterian Criterium. We wanted to ask him some questions about the Cap Crit and then the 24 Hours of Booty. So, Hilton, what's the Cap Crit mean to you? I mean, being an Aussie, what would be the equivalent of racing in Australia on the streets on Pennsylvania Avenue?
Well, I guess it's the capital of America. It's nice to race around there, and there's some really nice buildings that around there when you're racing. And being a former winner there, it's kind of special for me to come back and race the race.
And that was 2008, right?
Yes.
2008. And it's a family thing, I mean, we're starting to see you're racing with your brother Johnny. Is it like you guys were kids and you hit each other when you're racing, or is it like you guys are now officially grown up and you race as a team?
Well, I guess our careers have taken a different path, but we're always, we grew up riding together so much, and now to be finally racing in the same team in America, it's kind of special, and I'm hoping he's going to be at the race with me at the end of the season together, and do well like always, hopefully.
Right. And when you and I were out riding around, you were like, I don't know, Chad, about tonight, because you got a broken wing there. Tell us what happened back in June.
Yeah, middle of June, 6 weeks ago. I think in a couple of days I had surgery after I separated my shoulder at Nature Valley Grand Prix. And so I'm a little bit hesitant about the race tonight because it's my first race back, but I'm sure once I'm out there, I'll be fine. And in saying that, I think my season now, I'm looking a lot more ahead to the end of the season. So a lot of riders sometimes are tired come October, but I'm hoping to be going full steam. So I'm looking to do well again at the Crit.
This race in our nation's capital, there's a bunch of museums. It's just a beautiful area. You and I looked at the course, and it's something special. I mean, is that going to register to you guys during the race, or is it more like you'll take it all in? Oh my God, we're racing in the national capital. I mean, the national. Get it? You know what I'm talking about. You're racing in America's capital with all these beautiful museums. Do you take that in, and then eventually you just go, okay, now it's game time?
Well, I see, this year's course, we're covering even more of a few museums and a few other special buildings in the capital, and when I won the race, I saw the photo of the finish and a spectacular photo of the building behind and stuff, and to tell you the truth, I didn't even know the building was there when I was racing. So, like when you're racing, you're pretty focused in, but yeah, like after the race, I went around and checked out a few of the monuments and stuff, so it was great to check out the capital.
Being an accomplished crit racer, what do you think might be the biggest challenges as we head into October? Not only the course, but you physically and mentally.
Well, in Australia, we have a lot of courses they call in cycling a hot dog course, which has a U-turn in it. And this crit, as previous before, I said it's a little bit changed, but they still have this U-turn in it. And that is really demanding for crit riders, that every lap you're stopping and starting and stopping and starting. So come the end of the year, it really shows who's fit at the end of the year, who can handle that crit.
Which leads me to my next question. If you had to pick your top 3 crit courses in the United States of America, excluding Cap Crit, because we all know it's the finals of the USA Crit Series in Washington, D.C. Can you name 3 of them that kind of stick out in the back of your head, like, oh my God, this is an amazing experience?
Yeah, well, I guess we have Athens Twilight, which has about 30,000 people there, and it's amazing. Everyone's drunk, and another favourite of mine is the Air Force Classic, which is 100 kilometres, 1 kilometre a lap, and there's 5 corners, so I call it the race of 500 corners. It's a really grueling race. And I guess a little story about when I won this crit in DC. It was actually about a month and a half before I got married, and I was wondering how in the world I was going to pay for my wedding. And after the race, I had this big $10,000 check that I won first place, and I brought it home and showed my wife to be. And I was like the favourite husband to be. So that's also. This
is for the nursery.
It's a special race.
It's like sitting on top of your mantle above the fireplace.
Yeah, the Happy Gilmore check.
Was it heavy?
Well, you know, it was worth a bit.
Yeah, right. All right. So who do you consider? And I know as an elite athlete, it's like nobody. But who do you consider top contender? Who do you constantly find yourself battling against?
Well, I guess the
Can I answer that?
The nice thing
Jake.
the nice thing about this year, it's my own teammates. Yeah. So we've had a good run, and actually our team has been so strong this year that it's not often that you can put a few people on the podium, but only when the rest of your team is really strong. So our team has been delivering us so well that not only one person's been making the podium this year, multiple riders on the team, and we have our positions on the squad, and there's not much infighting. Everyone likes to help out just for the cause of winning, and Jake has been riding really well this year, so I kind of half the time I'm trying to race my own teammate.
Yeah, which is a terrible problem to have, I'm sure. Any other thoughts before we close this out? I mean, I really appreciate you taking the time, and we're excited. Oh, one last question. The season is so long. You start in February, and for you go back home and you race. You'll race some of the Australian races in the winter, our summer. No, our winter and your summer. How do you have the fortunate benefit of getting an injury, which is kind of weird to say, or how do you guys stay focused all the way to October in the final race?
Well, now, as soon as it was June and I, broke my shoulder, refocusing a bit, and our team is now going to the Herald Sun Tour, which is in the middle of October. It's in Melbourne, my hometown. Cadell's just won the Tour de France, so everyone's going to be crazy about cycling in Australia, and Cadell's from near Melbourne, so it's going to be a really big event. So, I've really refocused on that event. So, because I've refocused on that event, 2 weeks before it is this cap grid, I'm really expecting to come there in my very best shape. So, in a sense, for this race, maybe separating the shoulder in the middle of the year, it's going to be good maybe for my condition at the end of this race, because normally maybe at this time of year I'm getting tired. So.
What's it mean to you? Because I think that's a brilliant point that you brought up. What's it mean to you to have a countryman win the Tour de France?
Well, it's just going to, cycling in Australia, just like America, is growing rapidly. So I guess, it just brings another big profile rider to the sport in Australia. And Australia, from what I'm hearing at home, is going cycling crazy at the moment about Cadell. There was calls for a public holiday because Cadell won the Tour de France. There was all kinds of stuff going on in Australia. So, I'm here in the States all year, so I haven't seen the effect of it at home yet. But the Herald Sun Tour is it's the second event behind the Tour Down Under at home, but I'm really guessing, and they're pushing for Cadell to either be there or race it. And if he's there, it's going to be huge. So it's exciting.
That's awesome. Well, Hilton, we certainly thank you for stopping by, and I know that you and your team are really excited about not only tonight's race, but the final race in Washington, D.C. on October 2nd. We really appreciate you stopping by. That right there is Hilton Clarke, United Healthcare, one fast guy on the bicycle. Thanks, Hilton.